Hello and welcome to Apocalypse Builds, Episode 1, and currently I'm actually on my server. And there we go, steady 30 frames. It should be steady-ish. Basically, Forgecraft is having an issue, or at least my series. Apparently, whatchamacallit, Tinker's Constructs by MDIO is having a lot of finicky issues with me, and it keeps crashing my server. So, not my server, my whole single player server. So, I'm just building here. Basically, this will be my build it until I can get everything working. So this series should be hopefully, I want to have this series last a long time, because this is going to be one that I want other people to work around with. I want people to actually be able to play on this. This is a 10-person server that can hold, I guess, 10 people. It's not guaranteed, as I haven't tested it too much, but it's better than nothing. Actually, I wanted something else. The quarried stone is actually something. Let's see. This is the center of my entire city that I'm going to be making. It is 000. And so far I've actually just been thinking about this stuff. Here I have pretty much all the guns from my gun pack, and I've also did a flans pack just for this area, including pretty much every melee weapon and a couple other explosives, some junk items, some medical items, and some currencies as well. And moderate antibiotic doesn't seem to be working. I have to figure out what's issue with that. What's an issue with that texture? I do have it. It's supposed to be like bluish, I think. And then you have the armor, which I only have that set right now because that's just the standard default armor for Flans pack. I also have Harvestcraft, which is good for food. And gun customization. Always a fun mod, including all these different types of ammunition. But what I'm looking for right now is Buildcraft. Is it the filler that I want? I think that is. Let's see. That. You know, I've always had this issue of I can't find enough power, so I'm not even gonna have to need this actually, because I can't actually transfer the power quickly enough to have it even effective. So that actually kind of sucks. I'll have to figure something out. Buildcraft actually just might be removed to increase performance. But I guess I'll just do this by hand for now, until I can figure out something. I hear that, thermal expansion has been getting updated, but it's going to be completely new, so I'm not sure if it'll actually be able to help me. But yeah, this entire thing is just going to be me building a entire city. Yeah, I can actually see this is going to be very annoying. But yeah, so far Railcraft is just going to be the basic building blocks for most of this stuff. It's good for roads mostly, but it's also going to have the tanks, which are pretty much my primary liquid source, or storage source. Yeah, these roads are going to be semi-large. Yeah, I'm not going to do any of this stuff off cam. If you want to see the off cam, if you want to skip to the good stuff, usually I'll just be doing a test run or two every so often after I've built large portions of the city. So that's more fun if that's more fun for you, go check that stuff out. I'm not going to put any links because it should be pretty easy to find. I'll have it in a different playlist. Mostly this is just going to be me building and talking about random stuff, usually about my other series. And hopefully I can get a large portion of this done. And later on I'll have this server open to a couple people that want to play. Usually subscribers, or even if you're not a subscriber, it'd be fun to play with. And there we go. I have my reasons for making it 3 wide. It's because I'm actually going to try to make these roads look somewhat nice. And so far the set of 3 tends to be very good. And as you can see, the road itself is already starting to look nice on the map. And this being the center will allow an easier way to actually make this work. Okay, it's 3 out. And I like having this intersection area pretty much my main road. So for the most part this is going to just extend on indefinitely, or until I finally decide that the city's large enough. And this is all in creative, so it'll be slightly faster than just doing it by hand. I remember when I first started making maps, I never actually used creative for anything. It was a very, very long process, but it was fun. I actually dug up, for one of my maps, I actually dug up a huge portion of this area. And then my map bounds were basically where that border ended. That's where I started my building. And it must have been around, what was it? I wouldn't say about 1,000 blocks long, but I mean it was pretty long. And it was just this large maze that had no real purpose other than just being there. I had treasure chests and stuff in it. I was actually trying to make a fun little map for myself. And some friends played on it for a while, but it really didn't last. And yeah, so far I've been having just too many issues with Forgecraft. It's some of the stuff updated, and I updated, and guess what? It didn't work. And it's basically been MDIO's Tinker's Construct that's been giving me issues. And it's always with that smeltery, so I've kind of given up on Tinker's Construct for the most part. Even though he said that he fixed it, it wasn't fixed. Immediately crashed on even opening up the GUI. Which is disappointing, because Tinker's Construct is one of my favorite mods. And that's usually a pretty game-breaking issue there. Oh yeah, okay. I remembered to set that correctly. So now it'll be indefinitely sunny. And this is usually the boring part, but it's fun, in a sense. What else can I talk about? Well, basically for this, I have custom NPCs as well. which is going to be my basic zombie spawning mechanic. I also haven't gotten the textures for the zombies yet, so that'll be coming later on. But I do have quite a few skins in mind for it. And so far I plan on, the first couple of buildings I'm going to make are the hospital, the police station, and possibly just a couple other things. Also, the only reason I'm actually doing this, I guess it's not the only reason, but one of the reasons I'm doing it on a Bucket server, a Bucket Forge server, is that I want to have the ability to use the plugin, because there's a specific plugin that I really like. It's called Fat Loots, P-H-A-T Loots. And that basically allows you to make pretty much anything into a loot spawn, and loot will spawn randomly, or however you have it set up, in that certain chest. And I think it even works on, in fact I can actually test this, because I got bored at one time and I forgot to test it. And oh, it's not a linkable type. I guess it only is chest, but I think it was just any container for that matter. Let's see. Not a linkable type. Huh. I'll figure it out. I had it working at one point. Oh. What was I thinking? And it didn't work because I forgot to put that. And personally, I don't care right now. I've gotten it to work before. It shouldn't be too much of an issue. And yeah, Fat Loots is actually one of the better ones for generating random spawned loot, which this entire server will be based on something similar to DayZ, if you've ever played it. Personally, I stopped enjoying DayZ after, I don't know, it was really after just a couple of months. I mean, it really kind of lost its favor and started burning out. And yes, I know, you can still find a couple of interesting things. What was it? The one that was based on a stalker called, I think it was called Pripyat. That map was interesting, I guess. I haven't really played it, but a couple of people say that it's interesting. I guess it's really just who plays it is if it makes it fun. But for me, it's lost its favor. It's lost my favor, so I really could care less right now. I might get back into it at some point. Speaking of Stalker Call of Pripyat, it's pretty much one of my favorite. Okay, it's one of the favorite games I have. It's I still rate it about a 9 out of 10-ish. It's definitely fun. And there we go. So if you're going for like a apocalyptic theme, it's not really so much set in an apocalyptic theme, but the storyline is that the Chernobyl incident caused a area called the excluded zone, or basically it just caused an emission which killed all life in that area. And then you have the brain scorcher and all that, which just made it a little bit more interesting to look into. Personally, I mean, the story itself, it's kind of hard to translate it from the Russian part of the game to the English, so it's kind of iffy, but I mean, it's still one of the more interesting games to play. So I would actually recommend playing Stalker Call Appropriate, and the mods themselves are pretty... okay, they're decent. The new Misery mod is actually one of the really hard ones compared to most other games. But it really gives you the feel for actually what Stalker really meant. The entire doom and gloom feel of Stalker really gets amplified with Misery 2.0. So, it's fun. As for the city, so far I've gotten a couple of, I have a couple of ideas, and mostly I'm going to go for the slow zombie, more health, they swarm you pretty fast type thing. And they're all attracted to, if you shoot one, they're going to all be on you, and they will go to your last scene location, so you can't just shoot them and duck behind something and be safe. You shoot them, they'll go to where... oh, wrong zone. They'll go to where you shot, basically. And that's one of the things I like about the custom NPCs, is that you can really put quite a bit of AI into these just custom NPCs. And it's actually... okay, it's pretty much one of the mods that you always want to have if you're going to be making a bunch of maps. Or really large maps. And it also works with, you can actually have some of its traders, so you can really, I mean, it's really got a lot of purposes. It allows you to literally make an entire community just in NPCs, so you could play, if you're just single player, you can even have guards and stuff, but it's more enjoyable with multiplayer, because then you can have just multiple players actually being able to use them, and overall it's pretty good. Now I'm thinking, do I want to back this off so it has a lawn? I'm thinking about it. For now I'm gonna extend the roads quite a bit more. I know this isn't exactly the most entertaining part of the stuff, but again, I'm not cutting this stuff out. This is just for me to talk and have stuff to upload to talk. Basically, just to keep people updated for the most part. And I'll be doing test, sessions of testing to just enjoy the map and maybe have some people play. I will also have a bedrock boundary, as well as even a forested area before that bedrock. And yes, the map wall will be, I mean, it won't be too hard to go above it. I mean, you could probably just dig up some earth and some dirt and just hop the wall, but there's nothing really anywhere else. So you could do that if you really want, but I mean, there's no real point, and I probably wouldn't be very happy about that. And there's no creepers spawning in this server. Just because I don't want stuff being blown up for no reason. though I do have explosives. The explosives don't do damage to the surroundings. What was it? Like this, the grenade. Toss it, it bounces off, and boom. You can actually toss it around corners, which is actually one of the more interesting features. You can bounce it off walls and hide behind stuff. And it actually gives a bit of whatchamacallit, a bit of tactical ability there. Just options, really. And there's these ones. I can't get the Molotov or the thermite grenade to work correctly, but there will also be these M18 claymores, which are actually kind of fun because you just toss them on the ground, and if anyone gets too close, it blows up. It's not a timer or anything, though it is on a somewhat of a timer to actually arm it. It gives you time to walk and just toss it on the ground. It's usually good for putting it right next to doors, that way people can't walk into the building unharmed. It's one of those interesting features that you can use to it's more based on PvP, but I mean, I guess you can use it for the zombies, because it is pretty much a one-shot kill for the most part. In fact, I'm actually going to test this. Because I haven't tested if it's a one-shot kill just for being around it. Oh, I guess it's not a one-shot kill from just walking around it. I know it can cause a lot of damage, though. So for the most part, the claymore is really just good for traps. And it takes a while for it to despawn. I think it was like 17,000 seconds, or 17,000 ticks, whatever it was. I really didn't pay too much attention to it, but I mean, even at ticks, that's a long time. That's like 10 minutes or something. Like, I can actually check. It's about 15 minutes. 14-15 minutes. And I don't know why that, but that chunk hole seems to like to spawn there for some reason. And I mean, literally for no reason. This has happened like 4 times now. And it's got no purpose here. If you walk on it, you get stuck. So I have to figure out what's causing that. Maybe I just need to allocate more RAM to this, which I'm probably going to do next session. And the only way to fix that is to actually restart the server, because I've tried to back out and come back in, but it doesn't seem to help. That's kind of disappointing. And there's some stuff that's spawned beforehand. I've been trying to pick them off as I can see them. And 107 with... Let's see, rifled barrel. Where's the tripod, or bipod? Tripod. That should work. That works nicely. It does 50 damage, so yeah, pretty much anything gets one shot by it, but in my pack it's actually quite expensive to shoot with that, and it's pretty much not worth it unless you're fighting something that really needs a lot of damage. And there's also custom NPCs that if they have, I think it's even at 60%, they can still, just a normal health NPC could actually take that 50 damage and still survive. Which is kind of frightening, because they don't take much damage and they can still kill you, but I mean, you can really make something overpowered too. You can have something that has 9,999 health. I really don't know the limit there, because I haven't really tried it too much. But yeah, just custom NPCs is one of the better mods to have on a server. It's pretty lightweight for the most part. I mean, I've had over 200 NPCs on screen at one point when I was just messing around making a map. The map never got uploaded or anything because, well, updates started hitting basically it just kept hitting over and over and over, and then finally I just gave up because so many things are being updated. I really don't like this chunkle. I need to fix that. It's annoying me. What else can I do? I don't need that right now. I prefer the Dragunov for the most part. And PSO1 scope is normally for Dragunov, but I can use the PKS 07. That's always a fun one. Still one shot to all animals. And also, the grenade I had here, well, yes, it works. It doesn't work like the other ones, and that's why I switched to the Flans mod. It blows up on impact, and it really... You need a lot of weight for it to actually be able to arc moderately without having it to... Basically, when I first tried to use this thing, I could snipe people with this grenade and it would cause cataclysmic damage. And since it doesn't bounce or anything, and has no fuse, it kind of made it hard to actually arc it correctly. Now, granted, a actual grenade launcher would be wonderful with this setup, especially with incendiary ammo, which is always fun, as well as fire does not spread here in this server. But let's see, this thing. This is a shotgun, and it holds. I have 4 different types of ammunition for it, and one of them is Dragon's Breath. Lights the area on fire. It's actually a pretty useful ammunition for areas. Good for close quarters, and I'll have to be back in a second. I have to go do something. And I'm back. And let's see, one more. But yeah, so far this server, just the mod pack that I have currently is pretty stable for the most part. I can get over 200 frames per second. That's pretty good for a modded server. Unfortunately, it only shows 30% here, but that's not much I can do about it. And it can hold up to 10 people, still maintaining about 30 frames. Well, it should at least, for my calculations. Let's see. And people on motorcycles. It's always fun. Okay, let's see. Yeah, just from the map, I mean, this area is pretty large for the small strip of road. Most likely, let's see. I'm still debating whether or not I want to have a kind of a strip of lawn, or if I just want to make it completely building for this area. I'm going to go with a strip of lawn here, and I'm going to do it right about there. Okay, so that'll be my the first part of the building. Let's see, about down to here. And then, let's see. About here. And that should be a good start for the building I want. I wonder if it should be bigger. I'll decide on it before next episode. But if you like what you're watching, subscribe. If not, oh well. Have a good day. See you next time.